Okay, my hard disks are just spinning up and now it's recording. Yep. Okay. Well, yes, we are recording. Okay, so it's kind of.
Let the record show that this is very delicious popcorn.
Well, I'm also eating some chestnuts here, so. Yeah. Well, do you want to take over?
So yeah, are we having a tactical meeting today or governance? This is a question for you because I didn't specify.
Yeah, how to specify? I think usually if the team were larger, we would have like a weekly governance or tactical. But it's like if someone needs something, if anyone calls for tactical or governance, we can have them. I don't have anything for governance, so.
Okay, me neither. So we'll have a tactical meeting.
Okay, tactical it is. And let me just send you a meeting minute for today. And here's the meeting guide in case you need it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Do we have any checklist items? And I think.
Oh yeah, sorry. You can see the checklist on Glassfrog in the general company circle.
Let me open that. I don't know why Glassfrog is so slow. I'm always waiting for it.
That's interesting.
There it goes. Okay, general company circle. Yeah, so we don't have any checklists, or do we? Oh, so we do have meeting minutes checklist. Ah, okay. Yeah, so for secretary we have capturing the meeting minutes. So is that
check?
Check. Okay, good. All right. So that's the only item we have that I see on the checklist. Okay. So Metrics. I think we talked about metrics recently, and we were tracking some of that about our runway. But is there anything new on that?
Yeah, the ether price went up a little bit, so we have a slightly longer runway.
Okay, that's good. It's not in our control, but at least something good. All right. Okay, let's move on to project updates. So let's see if we have a list of our projects on Glasspark.
They should be on Asana.
Ah. Do I have Asana up here? Not yet. All right. Right, so looks like I need to log in here again. Okay, so I need to go get my phone. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, here's Asana. So I'm seeing my tasks, and I'm looking for. Okay. So I see one project here. Compile our online channels.
Okay, so that project is completed, and as the secretary, I just published the our last meeting's recording on YouTube, and here's the link. I think let me send you the meeting minutes from our last meeting. So April the 19th, and it's here.
Okay.
So that's the meeting minutes, and on the meeting minutes, in the meeting minutes, there's a YouTube link.
Yes.
There's the video recording.
Okay, that's true. Yes, there's the YouTube link.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that, so I created a channel called Action, and it contains that video, that channel, and yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, cool. And in our permission document, I'll send you the link. Yeah. So there. So this document lists our online storage, online channels.
Okay.
Yeah. So there it is. It's compiled, and I'll keep updating.
Okay.
That's it for me for the project update.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So do we have projects that are not listed on Asana? Because I have one project here.
I don't have any projects that I'm currently working on that's not listed on Asana. So I've just archived the project finished.
Yeah, it disappeared. Okay.
So I like it clean. I like nothing. So on purpose.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So let me look here. Okay. So here we are following the tactical meeting guide. So we're moving on to 5 triage issues. So let's see. Okay, so we build an agenda by asking each participant in turn what you need. Okay, so and then capture next actions or projects. All right. Okay, there was something else I wanted to look at. Where is that? Glass frog. No. Where did that go? Meeting minutes. Ah, yes. No. Ah, yes, here it is. Okay, so meeting minutes. Okay, so attention. The next actions and priorities of the roles which Michael fill are still missing on Asana. Possible tensions from Michael. Okay, so let me look at Asana. So I do have a couple of things on here. But I'm not sure that they're public. Yeah, no, they are. These 3 things here are private. So yeah, there are 3 things there. There are still no projects on Asana. So yeah, so let's where did this go? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this one is actually I have mixed feelings about Asana. Well, not really mixed. I just hate it actually. So I'm not a big fan of Asana because it's this sort of complicated thing, and I haven't had time to learn it.
Could you process your attention as the facilitator, please?
Okay. So let me add this as attention. So I'm going to add this here on the meeting minutes. So this is actually more from the Yoda role, but I'll say this here. And we'll put this off to later. So Asana is a complex and unwieldy tool. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so your attention that we're processing now, the first one here, is the next actions and priorities of the roles are missing in Asana. So I think I put 3 things on Asana, but
Sorry to interrupt. I have to interrupt. So,
Yes.
Normally, like as the facilitator, so usually if we have like a tension, try to separate yourself from the role that you feel. So I know you're actually the facilitator. So facilitator is like unbiased. He has no emotion whatsoever.
Yes.
Just simply ask the lead link to explain his tension and that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm jumping ahead because I know what happened with Asana here, but okay. So yeah, could you explain that then?
Yeah. So my tension is that me and the Yoda role, as the lead link, me and the Yoda role has talked about capturing the next actions and projects on some on Asana, and for 3 days I haven't seen them, so it's possible that I sense there is a tension. I sense that the Yoda may not like Asana or may not like putting his next actions online tool. So yeah, that's like that's my tension. I like to communicate or chat with the Yoda and figure out the tensions so we can resolve our questions.
Yes. Okay. Right. Yeah. So let me go back and look at the tactical meeting guide here. Just wanted to see if I'm skipping anything. I see. Okay.
Yeah, triaging issue is the tricky part in a tactical meeting.
Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah. Okay. So there was a moth. Yeah. So I've been a bit frustrated by Asana because, for one thing, it's awkward for me to log into it on different devices, and for another, I don't understand the user interface, so I haven't spent a lot of time with it, and I don't want. I'm not enthusiastic about spending a lot of time getting to know it, because.
Hold on, can I, as the secretary, capture what you just said real quick so that the lead link can process these tensions, so it's difficult to log in. Hard to learn interface. So it's difficult to log in, and it has a hard to learn interface. Okay.
I think it's poorly designed, to simplify. Yeah.
Okay. Poorly designed.
Poorly designed. And maybe more complicated than what I would like.
More complicated than by you, could you process what you just said as the facilitator?
Okay, yeah, sure. So I guess yeah. So as the facilitator, I guess the question that I have about this is yeah. Well, I think this is not. I don't think this is really a separate tension to be addressed, because I don't think there's much that we can do about this. But it's more of a as the facilitator, I'm confused. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do with this tension.
Yep. Okay.
As a facilitator, but I think.
Yep. it's okay. Let's see. Right.
I guess as a facilitator in this case, I would just, ask a Yoda role what, if there's a proposal here, or if there's a way to improve this situation.
Yeah. It's because if I were the facilitator, to me it sounds like it's a personal complaint, because Asana, so it's like the person that's filling the Yoda role is complaining about the tools. And if we look at Glassfrog, right now it's undefined which role has the domain or authority to act on Asana to improve our tools. So this means that the lead link, the guy filling the lead link role has the authority to make the decision on which tools to use. So it's basically as the facilitator, he would say like, so it's basically attention that's directed to the lead link, because he is like responsible for creating a good tool and work environment. So yeah, and then it's like actually he would encourage the Yoda role to talk to the lead link directly to say, is there any way we can improve this? Here's my anger and frustration, and basically. So that's the facilitator, what he does. Because if there were no facilitator, what happens in a traditional meeting is that people will try to make each other happy, and we'll get into a situation where we'll try to like get buy-ins, like, do you agree with this? Do you agree with that? How do we feel about that? And it's very difficult to move forward. So that's the difference. So yeah, so basically.
Okay, so if you were the facilitator, is this something that you would try to encourage the two roles to talk about it in the meeting and try to resolve it, or would you encourage them to just table it and move on with the meeting and try to like talk about it separately outside of the meeting?
If I were the facilitator, I would let them discuss a little bit, and if it appears to be taking too much time, then I would encourage them to talk about this. And if they can't resolve it, then I would say yes, the person filling the Yoda role, he can bring this tension to the governance meeting, and from where he can create a new role that's responsible to designing the best tools, finding the best tools, and figure out what's best. So that by doing that, we can take that responsibility away from the guy from the lead link role. And then once we create that role, the lead link will find the best person to fill that role. He can say, oh, I'm the best person to fill that role. Or he can say, actually, Michael is really cares a lot about tools, and maybe Michael can fill it. So it all depends. So there are many ways to solve it. It's like breaking down. It's like separating. The separation of concern. It's like separating.
Okay. Yeah. It makes sense when you explain it, but it's hard to put these things into practice as a facilitator.
Yeah. But, it is quite difficult when we first starts it. So.
All right. Okay, so so as the Yoda role, let me just say, I think what I'm feeling with Asana is that it's awkward to use, and I don't quite know what I think about it, but I have a suggestion in the meantime, is that unless we have something better than Asana, we could use Google Docs, and because we're using that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be sort of one less place to log in and one less thing to keep track of. Mm-hmm. So we could record our projects and actions in there, and maybe in a simple format, like just a text document. Maybe just put what we were doing line by line, maybe like project and then next actions, and then maybe that. And then if we want to sort of move things around just to show the prioritization of what we're working on, we can just copy and paste them and move them around like text.
Mm.
But I think it's a system that works maybe better if everybody is on the same tool. I think it's good that we are on the same tool.
Yeah.
So so that's sort of something that I'm just a suggestion.
Yeah.
And as the lead link, you can choose the tool that we use, but Google Docs is not my 100% favorite tool either in the world, but I think because we are using it as a general purpose tool, like just a text file. To me, that's something that we can copy and paste the text file into another document. We can easily print it. We can do all these things, and we have to log into Google Drive anyway. So I think it would resolve my tension with Asana. And of course, another thing that I can do is just take time to learn about Asana, but I feel like I would rather spend that time on other things.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so let me ask some clarifying questions.
Okay.
Have you tried other like online collaboration tools or task management or project management tools?
Yes, like Jira, Trello, and Bugzilla, GitHub. These are all things that I've used.
Okay. Is there a favorite that you feel you can?
No.
No.
None of them are favorites, but I mean they all take on the shape of the organizations that adopt them. So if you look at something like Bugzilla, which was built by Mozilla for managing bugs on Firefox and all their other products, so it's this very big, very complicated tool, and there's a lot of processes built around it.
Yeah.
So if you happen to have exactly the same process or a very similar process to what Mozilla does, and a lot of open source projects have a kind of a similar process for bug tracking and triage, and it works very well for that.
Mm.
If you have something like Trello, it's organized around kind of like a Kanban board where you have sort of a list of things that you can put whatever you want in that list, and then you have another list and another list, and you can put rules, like you can say we never have more than 3 things in this list ever. So things sit in the queue over here until they go into the list of things that we're doing, and then they go over here when they're done, or when they're being tested, or whatever it is. So that's maybe a more flexible tool, and you can sort of structure different processes around it. But it's kind of designed with a Kanban kind of a process in mind. So if you're doing something that doesn't fit that process, then it's like the tool itself becomes a little bit, not quite what you need. And if you have something like Jira, it's like you have it's organized around tickets. So it's the basic source of that is like you have customers or you have users who have some issue, and every time somebody has an issue, you create something to track that issue and then sort of move it through your issue management process.
Yeah.
Make sure that things don't get lost. So if you have that kind of a situation, then a tool like that works. But if you have something more like you're building something that it doesn't necessarily work as well. If you have like another kind of open source issue tracker like GitHub, then it's like you have basically any idea that you have, you put in there, and it goes in as an issue, and then you can track all of your issues. but it doesn't have the sort of like what Asana has, which is like a simple to-do list where you can like drag things around to prioritize them. An issue tracker like that is more like you want to keep track of everything and make sure that things don't get lost. But in terms of prioritizing them, then you can refer to issues by number, and it's appropriate if you have an issue that might take 6 months to resolve, or it might take 3 years to resolve because you have to plan for it and fix a bunch of other things first, and then like in the next version of the software you can fix that issue.
Yeah.
So these are really good for like really long running projects where you have really complicated needs of tracking what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm suggesting a text document, because we can make up the process around it, and whatever process we have, it will work. You can do anything in a text document.
Yeah.
You just put, what am I doing, line by line.
Yeah.
And any other structure that you need on top of that, there might not be, there's no structure, provided by the tool.
Yeah.
So if you want to add something, you add headings or you add something.
Yeah.
So it still takes a certain amount of time, but you're not fighting against a tool that was designed for a different process.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
So, but this is not something for me that that I think I need to resolve right away. So, I'm okay. I'm comfortable with this tension. If we can resolve it right away, that's great. But if not, that's okay too.
Yeah, I think this is very good, because eventually when we start developing softwares, we'll likely have a different way to kind of organize the development process. And Asana is more geared towards, I picked Asana because it's really simple to use, and it's suited for a small team. I didn't give much thought about later on when the team grows to a certain size. So it's actually a temporary fix for project management, and to show the team what everyone's working on, to provide visibility. And I think sometimes when we are accustomed to a particular tool, we're emotionally attached to one way of working because it saves us energy from changing our habit. And it's like what I'm thinking is, if we have another 2 people joining us, it's likely easier to train them on Asana than to use text messaging, because one of these people may not be very technical. So in a way, Asana is constrained. It's like an Apple iPhone. We can't really do, like, they have their proprietary process, and it will be a problem. It will be a problem in the future to kind of figure out the best way or the perfect way to kind of work together for this project. I don't have the answer right now, nor I think you could change. Maybe we'll create a role specifically to resolve this tension in the future, and someone else will feel it. I feel like for now it's okay to just use it. Another thing is, now that you've said you are unfamiliar with Asana, I think the training, I may need to improve the training process a little bit, because it's part of the training to onboard people on how to use these tools. So maybe the person that filled the mentor role didn't do the job well enough, which was me. So it's because it also takes time to figure out what works or not.
Well, yes, yeah. I have just a comment in response to that as well, because that is actually characteristic of my personality and my relationship with technology. So I actually there's a story about Steve Jobs that he was dying, and he had this oxygen mask on his face, and he was taking it off and yelling at people about how poorly designed this oxygen mask was. Like, just wear it, Mr. Jobs. It's keeping you alive. So my approach to technology, especially to user interfaces, so generally speaking, I don't like them.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily so specific to Asana that I don't like it. I actually don't like most software.
Okay.
So, but because of that, I also have a kind of an aversion to learning something, because I feel like I'm wasting time. So I feel like I could be doing something productive in a tool that I am comfortable with, or I can spend an unknown amount of time getting comfortable with this tool, and then maybe we will abandon it soon, and then that time will feel like a waste. So that creates a psychological barrier for me. So so that's something that I have with any tool that is new.
Yeah, it's important to make everyone happy about the tools that we use. It's like to maximize the group happiness or group proficiency level. So it's
not easy.
It's like a constant balancing act. What we could do is because right now our priority is just to establish a good process. It's okay to spend time on it, and we can. Because I didn't train you properly as we were doing the training process. I can show you the very basic functions, everything that you need, like to put everything and that should be enough. It's to use Asana, and we don't have to commit to master it, because I'm not sure myself as a leading, like whether we'll use it for the long term. We can just like adequately use it. It's like driving a new rented car just to know how it works, and better maybe move on to something else. So it's not a totally huge waste of time. So how about this?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Do you want to do it now? Do you want me to show you now or later?
Let's see let me look if there are other things on our meeting. Okay, yeah, I don't, let me think for a moment if there was anything else I had. Yeah, just one other thing to add to the agenda, but this is just some update. So yeah, just say update on blockchain training idea.
Update on blockchain training. Could you repeat?
Training idea.
Training.
It's an idea. Yeah, idea about like a blockchain training program.
Okay.
So it might be related to hiring, things like that.
And maybe related to what?
Hiring.
Hiring. Hiring. Oh, okay.
To hire. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I've just added it as the secretary.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So let's spend some time looking at Asana then.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen with you.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So everything that we need to know on Asana is basically just to, whenever we have something to do, just click any of the fields, and after we log in, click any of the fields and say a new task. And one can check the task by clicking this, and it will disappear.
Where do they go?
It goes to the completed tasks. So here we can select the completed tasks, and we can see the history, or we can see all tasks and we see everything, or incomplete tasks. Yeah, and another task, and yet another one. Yeah, and so during the training, we know that how to make a task public so that other people see it. So, but yeah, because sometimes we just want to add tasks for ourselves as private tasks. So that's when you can also see it. And on Asana, we organize our tasks in descending priorities. So if yet another task is more important than another task, and we just move it to the top. So if we have like 10 tasks or 20 tasks, every day what we do is figuring out the most important one and move that to the top and then do that. And kind of if we don't have time for the rest, we just leave them there. And other people can see what we have chosen to do, and we will feel comfortable that we know we have to do these ones. It's just that it's lower priority that we never get to them. That way, like we all know like which ones are more important than others, and people feel okay if their tasks are never done. So it's so that helps calms people.
Okay. Now, what about projects? Where do projects fit in here?
Yeah. So a project, as defined in Holacracy, is nothing more than just a series of related tasks. So if we want to add a project, we just click this plus sign here in Asana. And here we can create a project, say project. And here, we select public to action, list upward. With a list, it will have same kind of interface like what we just saw. But with a board, it's like a Trello board. It resembles Trello board. So if we say it's a list, and we'll create a project, it will appear right here on the left side. And here we can also add a task, third task. And if we add a task in a project, that task is automatically visible to everyone in the group. So we don't have to, there's no select public button here.
That's much better.
Yeah. And if here we can assign the task, because right now no one knows which role should take the task. So here we can assign it. Ideally, we should have the task management linked to Glassrock, but right now it's fine, just a small group, so everyone knows who is supposed to do what. So here we can click assign, and I can either assign to myself, or I can say type in your name, and your name shows up, and it's assigned to you. And here, if we go to your Asana, we should be able to see the third task right there, and it belongs to.
Can I type in someone else? Can I type in just any string? If I want to type in a role, but not a person in Asana,
I haven't tried. Maybe try it, see if it works. Or
what if I just put like Bob?
Bob. Invite Bob, because he's not on the team. So yeah, we have to. The tasks, they have to be assigned to the people already in the organization.
Okay.
So and there you can see your tasks, and if I just do this for you, so there you have a task, and you can move them around. And if you want to add, say if you want to move this task to a project, do you have a call or? Okay.
No.
Okay. Let me try if this works. One can just drag it and put it here. Then it also goes into the new project. So that task also goes to that project. Then everyone knows that this task, belongs to this new project. So, and if you want to kind of remove that project, how can I do that? Remove the task from the project.
Can you drag it?
Let's try. Nope. Yeah, I forgot how.
So we can create them as part of a project, and then they're permanently a project, it seems. What happened? Are you still sharing your screen? I cannot see your screen or you, but I can hear you.
Hello? Testing.
Yes, I can hear you, but I cannot see you or your screen anymore.
Yeah. Okay, recording. Hello, testing, testing.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me. Oh yeah, my external sound card just died.
Ah.
I'm switching to my earpiece here. So. Yep.
Well, I can hear you, but I cannot see you anymore.
You can't see me. Okay.
No, I see a blank gray screen.
Okay, let me try to restart my video. Yep. Okay, something has crashed. Let me start my video again. I think, 1 second. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
But you can't see me. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I think it will take. I have to restart the computer, so that's nah. So, but
Okay. Well,
did Asana, was the Asana tutorial all right? Or
yes, I think I got. Was there more that you wanted to show me in Asana?
no, that's all there is to Asana.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let me go back to my role as a facilitator here and see where we are.
Yep.
Looking at our meeting minutes. Oh yes. So there is something, an update on blockchain training program idea related to hiring. So can you see me?
I cannot see you. Your video is also frozen.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
okay.
I will just describe it.
Okay.
So yes, so I have this idea about blockchain training. So something like basically a series of modules. So I think that it might be good for us to review that when I have written it down and put it together.
Okay.
So that we can talk about what the different parts of the blockchain technology are, and then
yep.
Because we're discussing it in the context of Action, it would give us like just a chance to sort of like review the technology and sort of see how it fits with what we're doing. So
yeah.
So just an update to let you know it's something I'm working on, and probably in the next few weeks we'll come together into a more formalized kind of structure.
Yep.
And then we can talk about that.
Okay, sounds good. And I see that Okay. For video conferencing, make recommendations of tools. Okay, sounds good. Could you, as the facilitator, to remind remind the Yoda or yourself to put this on Asana so that it's one of the
okay, yes.
process.
Yes. So yes, we'll remind the Yoda role here. Yes, put this, something that you're doing, can put this on Asana as maybe a project.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm on Asana, I might as well do that now. Okay, the meeting minutes. So a question about this. Oh, by the way, my name, I'll fix that. One word like that.
It's one word. Oh, okay.
Cool. So these ones, these meeting minutes, they live on Google Docs.
That's correct.
So maybe something that as a secretary you could do is email them, or I don't know if that's something that would be useful to you, but in other like standards organizations where there's been meeting minutes, they've frequently emailed them to us.
Yep.
So that's something I find useful.
Yeah.
Although my email also is a bit of a how to say it, a place that has too much stuff in it.
Yeah.
Not always the best place to find things, but at least if I know where everything is, that's one way.
So do you store everything in your email?
Well, no, because some things don't ever make it to my email. So in fact, I don't store very much in my email, but there are certain organizations where I know that everything about that organization is in my email. So in that case, it's useful. Yeah. The worst kind of situation for me is when we have something like, maybe everybody is using different tools, or we're using so many different tools. Yeah. So it's like I don't know where things are. So I know that somebody mentioned something to me, but I don't remember, like, was it a text message? Was it something, an email? Was it something like, some other tool like Asana or whatever? Yeah. So if I see something and then I want to think about it later, or want to go and check on it, if I don't know where it is, then I probably won't find it. So
yeah, I think it's there are. So wait, so what's your attention? Sorry.
What is my attention? I guess just because we're using too many tools, I don't know where to find things. So so my attention is that I don't like the fact that we're using so many tools. So I think that's just one thing that you could do is email the meeting minutes, but I don't know if that's something that would be worthwhile for anybody else when we grow the team, or if it's something that I don't know if it's it might be because I'm old and I tend to use email for a lot of things that maybe younger people don't. So
could you process what you just said as the facilitator, please?
Well, as a facilitator, I think I would say it sounds like you're complaining about that. So I think we already know we need to we have actions for working on the tools and talking about the tools. So I don't think there's actually a proposal in there. I think it's just complaining, actually.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm being really passive aggressive here. So it's.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all that we have on the agenda. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Then I guess that's it for our technical meeting.
Okay.
All right. So I can't see you, but I assume you're there. So then we'll meet tomorrow. So do you want to try to meet earlier tomorrow? Because you've
there's a closing round. There's a closing round for the.
Oh, did I skip something? I did skip something. Yes, closing round. 6. Closing round. Yeah. So yeah. Each person can share a closing reflection. So do you have a closing reflection?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. So I feel the facilitator will still need some time to kind of fully master the workflow. But I feel the project is moving forward. So.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I feel the same way. I feel things are moving forward. I feel holacracy a little bit difficult. Takes time to get used to. So.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. So administrative issue, but tomorrow, do you want to have the meeting earlier, or what works for you?
How about an hour earlier?
Okay.
I'll send out the meeting, the invitation to your email through Google Calendar.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
That's good. See you tomorrow.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Bye.